Oh, wow. Have you ever been searching for a fabric you just knew would be perfect for the design you wanted to make? Couldn't find it, so then you used another fabric. Turned out good, but then a few months later, you find the fabric you were looking for. What do? You make another one. I'll show you what I'm going to make. Coming up. So you're wondering, what is she going to make out of this fabric? Like, what is it? This is a map. The compass and airplanes and little traveling, like, airplane world map stuff. I was actually going to design my own print and send it into Spoonflower and have it made, and I ran out of time. I was going to a retreat back a few months ago. I wanted to make my postcard skirt. Like, I had this in my mind, and I was searched online and found a couple of close ones, but I just couldn't find. It was this. I wanted this color, I wanted this texture, I wanted it, so if I tore it, it had raw edges, and I found this at Hobby Lobby, and they had 5 yards on the bolt, and I bought 5 yards, and it turns out I need 5 yards. Sometimes I just cut them, and I don't know how much yardage I need. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the skirt that I made at a sewing retreat, and I call it my postcard skirt. My plan was to get the postcards of places I've been and places I want to go, print them onto fabric, and then do like trims like this, and I went to Nashville, got this postcard, and so you can print things right onto fabric. I'll show you all that. But these are, so I have like the postcards where I want to go. Where's that? This is Florence. I'm going soon to Florence. And so I thought, keep your bucket list on your bucket. Just made that up. Interesting. Anyway, so this was just, I love this skirt. It's one of my favorite skirts, and I try not to wear it too much so people don't say, you wear that a lot. So what I wanted to do was make that skirt. It's a 3-layer rosy skirt right here. So it's got 1 layer, 2 layers, and 3 layers. And the 3rd layer, I had to put a lining underneath it right here. This is that ambiance lining, if you know anything about it. It's really soft and light, and just, I love it. So I had to actually recut this and put it, the bottom layer in strips, because you have to have fabric so wide to cut the pattern. So I don't know if you know my rosy skirt. It is looks like this right here. I make a lot of these. If you've seen any of my videos, you've seen me make a lot of these. I'm writing a book about it, and I love like so many different variations to using this pattern. And I have the PDF for you. There's in the description below. You can get the basic pattern. I just kind of traced it off. It's not professional PDF, but it's a trace. It's really simple. The simplest pattern ever. And it's a square circle skirt, and there's so many different variations to do. So when I wanted to do my postcard skirt, that was like, I'm gonna do that one, right? So this one, my idea with this is not postcards now. What I'm gonna do is stamps, like vintage stamps. And I also found this, I found these in one of my LA trips in a gift shop in this cool store called the Last Bookstore. But I've seen these around before, but these are luggage labels, and they are so fun. They have different, these are stickers right here, and I'm gonna put them on my luggage, but they're vintage, like hotels right here. So I've got Rome. So I went to Rome, and I'm gonna do that one. This one's New York, been to New York. And then in places I wanna go, this is Greece, Athens, and Venice. Haven't gone there yet. I'm supposed to go, but we're going to Florence instead. Barcelona, I haven't gone there yet. So these will go, I think you're supposed to put these in the front of your skirt where you want to go, and the other ones where you've been, right? So what do you do? These are stamps. I went onto Etsy and found vintage stamps right here. So just like, oh my gosh, the Eiffel Tower, and just cute. I thought this just looks really good on this right here. So just, and they're smaller because this print is a little busy. Yeah. But what I did was I printed it on, what do they call it? Fabric photo paper. I have this right here. Photo fabric right here. I'll put a link to this below. Sometimes this is kind of hard to find. I was searching for it online and they had all different kinds, but it's this, the one that works for me. And I just put it in the printer. This is a fabric side and there's a paper side. So I put it down this way and it rolls up and that prints on there. And then I'm gonna cut them with the paper on there with pinking shears around it. And then you just peel it off right here like that. And this is fabric. This is the paper that just gets tossed away. And then it's just a real thin piece of fabric. You can see them on, and it prints beautifully. So, wow, this is my Bora Bora huts. I gotta go there. It's on my bucket list. I gotta go to the Bora Bora huts and swim. So and I also got these on the fabric paper right here. They print beautifully. I mean, we're just finding the originals here. Let's see, the Barcelona one. That's the actual, and this is the fabric print. It's like, wow. And you wash them in cold water. They faded a tad, but not bad. So I like them kind of earthy like that. I think this one faded a little bit much, but I hand wash this skirt in the sink and just get cold water on it because it has a lot of little details on it. But so I'm so excited. I'm gonna get started on my stamp. I don't know what to call it now. On my world, what do I call it? What would you call it? My world map skirt. All right, first step, get this cut out. I took the easy way out and used the circle from another skirt to cut the simple circle shape here. Then I just cut out 2 layers at a time, making this quick and easy to cut. And now all I have to do is cut 2 of the yokes on the fold, and then all I gotta do now is put them together. I usually do this right after I cut them out. I put them right sides together, prepare the seams, pin them and mark them, and then the yoke is done. So to make the 3rd layer, which is longer, my fabric's not wide enough and it gets so thick, I like to do part of it in a lining. I have this ambiance lining that's real soft and airy. So I have it the same shape as the other 2 layers and just smaller square. And then I cut these strips. Right here I did a pattern for this. This is cut 2 on the fold right here. And these will go along here to create the square shape, but just not as much fabric. So I have 4 of them cut here and need to sew right here, all 4 sides. I have this one pinned already, lost a pin, but I have a circle right here, and I'm going to be sewing starting right at that circle and then sew down, and then those will come, when they go right sides together, it'll look like that. And then this will get sewn into here on all 4 corners. And we leave a circle here so this can get like opened up, and then this gets pivoted in here. It's like a square pivot, and hopefully they all match up really good. And that makes the 3rd layer, which is lighter but still has the square on the bottom. So now I need to go and sew all 4 corners of here and then get this attached on all the square points. I have the seams sewn and pressed open. Turned out really nice. I love the little V's right here. I pressed and tucked this little part under here to kind of tuck it under, and I think what I'm going to do on all these corners now is go and top stitch all around here and to anchor down this seam. And I have this all pinked so that it won't fray too much, because boy, this fabric is really fraying. But I think I can't do that until I get the lining in, because this has to open up to get the lining in. So to start with the lining, I have these all just at 5/8 right here. So I have a little pivot point there. And then here's the lining. I put 5/8 inch pivot points on all the corners. I'm gonna have this right side here, right sides together, and then that pivot point goes right in there. So I have to sew it right to that little dot right here. And just go squares. I think I'm gonna have to pick it up and then start back when I go around to this side. But also, most importantly, I need to make sure this line here, these should all be kind of the same. It seemed like one of them was a little, like a 1/2 inch longer than the other. This right here, I need to make sure all these pivot points are going to match up. But yes, this one's looking good. My pivot point is right about there. I'll definitely put pins in all here, because if one slips more than the other, then you have a mess at each corner. But I think I'll put pins in every quarter and just go around this. Yeah, this is lining up really good. Match these up. Sew all the way down, get to the pivot point, pick it up, and start at that pivot point and go around in all these squares. That will be my 3rd layer lining. All right, have it all pinned in all the corners. Pins are falling out. All 4 corners. Now I've got to go and sew that. And if I have any little gaps, I can create little tiny pleats, because it'll just be hidden under here. But so far it looks pretty good. All right, 5/8 all the way around 4 corners. Going into my first corner, a little bit of a fabric gap there. Okay, come on. Hair off there. It's all right. Okay. Rewind. Up. Up. Let's see. Not bad. A little off right there, but that's going to be good. Up. Let's start with this one. There, down, up, there, stitches forward, reverse, and into the next one, right to that end. This looks. Ta-da! All points. Looks good. Now I'm going to press that and go and top stitch all these pieces. Yeah, so they're open. I'll top stitch all these parts down. Good to go press all this first. Looking good. Wow, got this all done. This looks great. I zigzagged this seam down on all 4 of the seams. Got these all tidied up there. And then I went ahead and top stitched the seam allowance on the up part so that it wouldn't twist around after it got washed. And yeah, this is ready to connect to the other pieces. All All right, have the 3 layers together, like that, looking good. It's getting heavy. Have it pinned, all 3 layers, and I just got to baste that around, and then get the yoke on, start to look like a skirt. Yay! I got my yoke part sewn at the seams. I like to sew them all the seams together, so I had to cut these apart, press the seams open, and get the yoke built, and then add the binding in between the yoke and the skirt part. So now I have to decide on the binding that's going to go between the yoke and the skirt. So many choices. I had this one here, kind of interesting. Followed the 2 colors. I wanted to go with gray. I originally thought of just gray grosgrain ribbon here in between the layers. It looks really pretty. I like that one. And then I was looking at these other ribbons, and then I had this zigzaggy, what's it called? Rickrack? Yeah. Right there. That's pretty. Oh my gosh. Then I have this. I was thinking there's 3, cutting off and just using one of these, but this would have to definitely be hot glue gunned, or which I don't like to do. I could, but I could actually stitch between all that, but it's a lot of work. I still might do this. I don't know. I could put that actually up on the sewn part after I get it in there. Then I was thinking, I think I did a sample here. I have all this chiffon. I love silk chiffon, torn in strips, and put between the layers there. So I tested this here. I think I had another piece, I lost it, but 2 layers, and like a 2-layer piece right here, like raw edges, since all the other edges will be done there. And I don't know, I like that it's darker. I was thinking more on doing the grosgrain, although the grosgrain's really dark too, so what would you use? I don't know. I think I'm just going to tear the silk chiffon in the 2 layers. I'm going to put like one, it's like 3/4 of an inch past the seam allowance, and then another one like at 5/8, and have the 2 raw edges there. And just tear it on there, and I just need one width. I think the fabric is 45 inches wide, so just two widths of that, and test it, and then decide which one to do. So I don't know. So many choices. Sometimes it's not good to have too many choices, right? All right, have the 2 clipped. Oh, I tear those. It's hard to get them started sometimes. I have to press these. Clip those off. The second one. So I decided I added 5/8 to 1. This isn't looking right. Maybe it is. I don't know. So I figured that I'll sew it right on the edge of the yoke and have it 5/8, and then I think 5/8 past, and then the other one right here, I have to go this way, and then it will be in the seam allowance here, and I'll have these 2 rows here. So I have to baste. I'm going to probably go press this first, get all these filaments of thread everywhere, and so it's just like real close to the edge, and then see how I like those when I'm going to have all these threads all over the place. So here's the yoke, and I'll sew that to here, and it'll get like right there. Let's see, put this here. Decide. Yeah, I really like this. I think it's dark and gray, and it's just more raw than the ribbon. So let's see, where's the ribbon? So that versus that. Yeah, see, this gets a little darker, matches that. And this is, yeah, just kind of generic. I think this gives it a whole raw, earthier, I don't know if it's earthy, but it's the world map. Better. Yes, definitely going with that. All right. Okay. Have it pressed, and I've got the short layer on the bottom. Kind of line up these two raw edges and then just pin all the way around here. Get all the raw edges even and making sure that the two layers are a little separate there. Just pin. Should be using silk pins on here, but I think it'll be fine. And then I'm just going to go and baste this all down. Raw edge. Good thing about silk chiffon is it's sticky. It has like a little bit of a gummy feel instead of like poly chiffons are real slippery, and this would be harder to do. That's one really good advantage of silk chiffon. Although I love silk chiffon, I use it a lot. All right, have the binding basted on right there. And now I've got to put the yoke onto the skirt, and I have to decide which I want to be my front, which I've already done because I wanted the little ending part to be in the back. And this just barely fit right here. I actually wanted to trim off the selvages here. I'm going to put them in there and see once I get it on and see if I can do that, because that's going to look like that when it's done. I'm going to have to figure that part out. So this is going to be my back, and I've decided my front. I wanted the compass to be here, and then it says the world there. Then also have to decide what my front is. I have the square. I usually put the V's in my front, although I can't tell. I put slits in the other ones, and I can't tell which one's the V's. I think these are the V's. That means this was my front. Can't even tell. So I have the map going this way. The world's going sideways, so I could actually, oh, this looks good right here. I can always change it because it's just a square. So I like the world here. And I gotta get all these frays going and the compass. I think I'll put this as the front. Yes, that's gonna be my front. I really like the way that goes. And then this is my front here. Yeah, so now I have to start with this one. I have my little V right notched right there, so I'll put this right sides together and get this all pinned together. It's gonna get heavy. Probably ought to put a twill tape or something on here to hold it the strength up. I don't know. Okay, and then the elastic's gonna have to be tight on there too, because my other skirt, like, it would got heavy and it would when I was walking, it would start to want to fall down, so I had to tighten the elastic. And also over time, hanging it up to the elastic starts to loosen, and then a heavy skirt, you got a problem. I'm going to pin all this, and then I'm going to mark. I'm actually going to put 5/8 inch marks here. I probably should have done that first. Sometimes I like to do that before the pins go in. But now that it's already started, I'll just go with it. And I would use the seam guide, but I think marking it really helps it just get in there accurately. When you have to really make sure it's accurate so that my binding, this little piping here is all accurate. I want it to look really straight when it's sewn. All right, pin, and mark it 5/8, and then I'm going to go and sew this all together. Okay. All right, I have my binding on there. It looks great. Once I get this, I have to get this seam pressed up towards the waist part, and then this will all lay down here. Hopefully it doesn't flip up. That would not be good. I'll have to anchor it down, and I'll probably have to top stitch that. But I also still have to put the lining in here, and then I anchor the lining to that, and a lot of times that keeps that up. And once the seam is up, then the binding will stay down. Yeah, it's going to look really great right here. There is one little problem. It's in the back. It's where my two seams came together. They don't actually match up right here. So I think what might really work on here is just get a little scrap of the chiffon, and I'll put it under there, and I think the fact that that's under there will just kind of hide that separation. And then once I press it and get these together a little bit more, I think that'll help. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure out some other little layer right here to blend it in. All right, I think that turned out pretty well. It's a good little disguise. I don't think you see the little opening there, so that's good. Now to finish this, what I need to do is put the lining in, and I have it sewn, and then I pre-press the one part that's going to get connected to the yoke here, and I pressed this whole seam up, and then when this gets attached here, I like to hand sew this because it kind of, sometimes when you machine stitch it on the outside, it kind of controls this length right here, and then sometimes it pulls, so I like to just hand stitch it. So what I'm going to do is put these wrong sides together in here, and then just pin it up on the waist like so. Just pin this and then go baste the top, and then I'll be putting on the elastic, which is my 1-inch fold over elastic. It's really easy to put on. So I have a video on how to attach the rollover elastic if you want details on it. Alright, so pin this and go baste this lining in. Pretty simple. Alright, I have the elastic in. Went on really good. What I do is do a wide zigzag, and then I make it long stitch so that it just goes real quick, because if I ever have to take it out, if it stretches out, then it's really easy to pop out. So yeah, there we go. Elastic is in. I always like to, like my center back is here. I'm gonna put like a Sharpie, or I would put a tag on it, but I don't like tags. So then I always know where my center back is because I have that seam right there. Now I need to hand stitch the lining part to here. That will keep this facing up. I just have to pin here. So also, this is why I don't machine stitch it, because I like to get this to fit. If this lining is any shorter than the yoke, it will pull it up. So see right here, it's laying right there, and I'll give it a little bit of slack right here. So I actually stitch it there so it has a little kind of slack right there. This fabric is also rayon, so it could shrink. The weave can shrink a little bit. So see, I rolled this up a 1/2 inch, and this seam is 5/8, but I still, you'd think it would be right there, but I still like to have this little slack. For some reason, it always pulls a little bit. So I'll take this from the side seam, each side seam, and just pin this on, and then I'm going to hand stitch this in place. Alright, have this whole thing pinned. Now just to get a double thread and just do a real quick stitch that will stay in there. This has a little bit of a bump right here. I don't know why. Yeah, once that goes, so I'll just stitch that. And then this is what the whole skirt looks like on the inside. It has the lining and then this longer one. And if I turn this all inside out, it'll be done. Really, I just have to now do the decorations. So then stay down here. I might have to anchor it. It still wants to slip up. I think that's just because it's straight grained. So I think what I might do is anchor. I have to anchor that down in those couple spots. I'll do like a little gray stitch or something, maybe just on the bottom one, because if the bottom one is anchored down, that will stay down. Yeah, and then you won't see the stitch, I think. The goal is for that trim to stay down, not to flop up. I don't know. I'll just hand stitch the inside, and then I'm ready to add on my stamps. Right, have the hand stitching going. I've got a double thread here, and I just do a quick whip stitch. Do 3 chunks at a time. Pull just loose. this only take about 10 minutes, if even. A lot of people are like, hand stitching, oh gosh. I just want it to be a loose stitch so that it stays down, but it has a little bit of play in it so it can not be too tight and controlled. Voila! Skirt sewing part is done. Wow, it feels really good. I could literally just wear this right now and decorate it later. It's so light. This one's lighter than my postcard skirt too, so too fun. I love it. And I think my gray, oh no, it flipped up a little bit. I'm gonna have to figure out how to keep that down because I don't know. How do we do that? Because it's so thin, I don't want to put little stitches in there. I'll have to figure that out. All right, now onto the part of stamp. Just have to add on the fun stuff. The stamps and the luggage tags. So how to tackle this? There is one little problem. I was looking through my, I don't even know, I think I was looking for the lining or something, and I found this. I'm like, oh my gosh, I had fabric with postage stamps on it. This is like total just fabric with the selvage and all. I can't believe this. I'm like, I could have just like put Wonder Under on this and cut it and it's already fabric. But I kind of like these stamps better. So I was like, actually, yeah, I like them better. I do like this black and white one though too, because look how this would look. All these little black and white stamps. Oh, I have to rethink this now because I'm really looking at this. I think what I'm going to need to do is to cut off some of these. And because there's a reason I found these. I don't know. Maybe just do both, all of them. I don't know. Maybe just do stamps and not the luggage tags. I don't know. Wow, but these are pretty. I thought, you know, the stamps were a little too small right here. It's kind of cool because the print is so busy. Like, do I need these? I printed these all out. So, I don't know. But I could always make another skirt. Get some like white linen and then put these on there. Or black linen. Ooh. Actually black linen and this would be really pretty. And then just do postage stamps on this. Wow. So I think what I need to do is just cut these out and put them on there and decide. That's kind of what you do, right? But I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut out a chunk of these and I'm going to put Wonder Under, because these are small. They're going to be hard to pin on and then to stitch. I'm going to use this Wonder Under I've had forever. I just have this much left. This is what you do on Wonder Under is you iron this, it separates right here. I'm telling you this, you're probably like, I know what Wonder Under is, but I'm like, I didn't discover this until I was in my 40s when I opened up my school. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. So I never used it in all my sewing projects. But so I glue that on there and then I cut them out of here and then I can just iron them on in places and then they stay ironed on. And then I'm going to sew on my postcard skirt, I sewed around it and I put trims on it, so then it kind of eliminates a stitching part if I put trims on it. So just go with me here, I'll get this figured out. So I think I'm going to start with that. I'm just going to start with a few, put them on and see how this all goes and decide what's going to go on that skirt. I have the Wonder Under on the photo sheet stamps. I'm just going to cut a zigzag, or pinking shears, right? Just going to cut. So I got a little one like that. And then, I guess I'm just going to be pinning on in spots. Kind of sticks there. I guess I do need to put some pins in it. Actually, I'll have to go get my little silk pins because they're tinier here. And I'll just go like that. And I just have to put them on there and see, you know, I love just the stamps. I don't know what to do. All right, so I'm gonna cut these out and just cut all these stamps up. Another one. These are pretty. I went on to Etsy and found these for $2, a sheet of them for $2, a printout. And I'm like, how much time? I was actually just going to go and do individual stamps, and I was like, how much time did I just save there? And then I find the fabric in my stash. What are you going to do? But look at that pretty stamp. It says 40 cents, 60 cents, purple, Musi postal. I don't know. Do you know where that's from? So cute. I love this kind of stuff. It's like, really make it artistic. Here, so I got that little black one there. And this can go, oh my gosh, it looks so good. So, I think, with that sheet, this sheet right here, that's the photocopy. Maybe I need more, right? So, yeah. I'm thinking the postcards are just, I don't know. I don't think these are too big. I think it's going to go on. I think it just needs to be stamps. And I don't want to cut this apart because I'm going to use it on something else. I can see this skirt in black linen. So that is going to be, I'm going to search it out. And I know I need like 5 yards. It's a lot of yardage. Wow. I have to get a really thin black, and then I'll put these on it. Oh my gosh. Another world travel skirt. And I'm world traveling, so that's good. All right, I'm going to cut out a bunch of these little stamps. Oh, I love this little elephant in here. There's so many great postage stamps. What cute fabric. Where did I get this? Here is another one. I have to kind of cut through some of them to get it, but it's a repeat pattern. I also like to do these little nail heads. These are fun to add to things. So I can also put beads or all kinds of little trims. Wow. Or just the stamps are good. I'm going to have to stitch them somehow because I would hate for these to be lifting off and then having to. And this already has the Wonder. I call it. It is called Wonder Under. I just have to lift this right here. It's so small, like that, and then it's sticky and on there, and then I just put it. It's Tasmania, and then it's easy to just iron on, get them in place, pin them to decide where to put them, and then iron on. It's about an hour later, and I have my postage stamps pinned on strategically. I even put them on the edges right here, and that's actually my way of keeping this from flipping up. I'll actually be pushing that down, and it will stay down in all those little spots. So, wow. So yeah, this is looking really good. I'm going to try it on, see if I have any spots in there I need to fill in. And this fabric has some texture to it. It might really adhere to that glue, and I may not have to stitch around it, because that would be nice, not having to stitch all these little parts like that. So now I'm going to put some of my little nail heads on here, and I think I'm going to look on Amazon, see, oops, ooh, don't step on that. I think I'm going to look on Amazon and see if I can find some other nail heads, like maybe little round ones or gold ones. Just little ones, because I think they'll look kind of, on a few of those might kind of make them bounce out a little bit. I'm going to see what Amazon has. I'm going to try this on, see how it's looking. All right, I think my postage stamps are looking good. I thought when I was putting these on that there was just way too many, but I think they're blending in really well. I clustered them on my hip part, which I like to do, and I like the way it's all blending here, because then it makes it look like it's not part of the print, like it is an add-on to the fabric, because I was thinking this is going to look like it's in the print. But I can't wait to get some little nail heads and do some decorating on these. Probably not too much, but yeah, just jazz it up a little bit more. So my next step is to iron these on, and I'll go from there. See what else I can do. Wow, this project's a little easier than I was anticipating. Just iron these on. Looks great with this. These stamps are so cute. So there is these stamps here that came off the fabric. I have this, what do you call that, web stuff, and I just peel it off here. Get the same size, and you just tear it right there. I'll just put it anywhere here. And this has a, what does it say, Saint something. Put it right there. I should probably use a, this one's sticking out a little bit past. That will ruin my iron. Just tuck it under there and then use a press cloth over that so it doesn't get onto my iron. That. The goal is to get all my pins back. There we go. And that puppy's on there. Yeah, this stuff's really strong. I like this. It's like a, I think it in here it says it's heavy, or heat and bond, ultra hold. So it's a little bit thicker than the usual web stuff. So I think this will hold on pretty well. So yeah, I just have to go around this, and some of these one with the glue on it. I gotta say the glue apart one is easier. Have to do the adding the glue on first. That's not a big deal. But yeah, all of these, just the trimming and stuff took a little bit of time. I'd say I probably have just about an hour into the trimming on it. Just sat down, put it on the dress form, and sat down, which felt good, and then placed them on there. All right, got my Amazon delivery in. My nail heads. 100 nail heads. Can you believe it? 100. I was expecting like a box. I don't know, but I should count them, but not really. So I think there's just like, you know, little things in there, which are good because that's the I need the little ones and a couple big ones. So yeah, I'm ready to finish my skirt. It's actually been a couple weeks. I ended up going to Chicago in between and making another skirt, and yeah, I actually got to wear this a few times too. Discovered that some of the little postage stamps are coming up and need to re-iron them down right here. Oh my gosh, I even have a few more that I cut. Whoa, and need to iron those on and just get the nail heads. Those will help keep those down. And do the last finishing part on this. While I was wearing it, all these frays were coming out. It was kind of, I had to like work this skirt in, so get it like kind of worked in. So can't wait to wear this. I'm going to wear it tonight. We're going by boat to a neighborhood concert, and I'm going to get some pictures. I'll show it to you how it looks on the end. I sure wish I had this when I was in Chicago. I didn't bring it because I thought it was just too big and heavy to pack. I brought my postcard skirt, but I forgot that Chicago is the windy city, and I had my other skirts with me, and I was having to like hold them down because there was one day where it was pretty bad. I even had to buy tights because we went on a sailing ship, and I thought, oh, this is not going to be good for this skirt. And I pretty much just brought skirts, and that's what I always do in the summertime. So, but look, the skirts ended up looking great with the leggings under it. Well, I better get started on finishing this. All right, making progress on my nail heads. I have them all laid out here. Some of them are pretty big, but they can take it because it actually helps the weight stay down. I put one just like right here to hold this down. I can't put them in the yoke part because then the little, those little nail heads kind of stick in there and they itch. So I have to just put them on the lower parts. And I still have a few more of these to put on, and I'm going around to some of the ones that are lifting up and putting some of this wonder under, just giving a little more security. And then probably just always have to be pressing this. Another fun thing I've been doing is putting the little hot, what do they call them? Some kind of hot rhinestone edging, or I got them at my rhinestone genie kit, and they're like little packs of all these rhinestones, and I just put them on like right side up, and then I put a press cloth over it and press them on, and it makes like a cool little rhinestone effect. I'll put one right here. Then I have this press cloth that looks like this. I found it. It was Easy Way applique. I have to find some more of this stuff. I've got a big sheet of it, and I just cut off some of it, so this actually helps you can see it, and then literally you can iron right on top of it. And then I can see through it right there. And then these little rhinestones, what are they called? Heat and set. I wanted to say hot set, but and I missed it. I moved it around, and so it's on there, and that's okay. So I put a little yellow one on another one right in the center of this compass right here. So I mean, you can literally put rhinestones around all by yourself, and it's just a heat and press. I don't know how long it's going to stay on. If you lose a few here and there, what are you going to do? And then this one's lifting up, so I love these little skinny rolls of this stitch witchery, I guess. You got to make sure that iron doesn't touch it. And then, because like this one's coming up, I'm just going to fold it all under there. Definitely have to put a press cloth under that, because if it gets on the iron, I just moved that off. Can't stay. I guess that wasn't really ironed on very well. You really got to heat these up without burning your fabric. What you should do is get it started, and then there we go. Okay. The trick is to really let it cool. Get those on there. Now I got to go around and add some of the nail heads. So I have this one. I like some of the gold ones. I like to put them in the corners too. That also helps prevent it from coming up. So just pull it through the single layer, and I like to use the end of the clippers here. Really helps to push these down. This one has 5 of them. Just really anchor them all down like that. And there is my nail head. Second layer. Oh my gosh, I love this elephant stamp. Oh, so cool. I need to put a big one up here. Now I think I better check the other layers. Well, that about does it. I think I've got all the studs I can put on. My fingers are a little sore, but it turned out so much fun. It really helps pull out the stamps and make them look like they're not part of the print, and makes it a little more unique. Oh my gosh, absolutely love this. It's going to be so much fun to wear. I'm going to wear it tonight. I'll get a photo, put it at the end of the video. You can see how it looks on. But wow, well, I hope I inspired you to think creatively. Do you have any unique fabrics like newsprints, the stamps, postcards? I don't know. Get some of that photo fabric paper. Think of some unique things to make. And find a simple base skirt like the rosy skirt. I have the download in the description below. And make something creative. It's so much fun to wear your unique handcrafted pieces. So I hope I inspired you. Give me a thumbs up if I have, and I'll see you in the next video.